Rating horror games that I went into completely blind. This week, Still Wakes the Deep. Still Wakes the Deep is a 2024 horror game made by the Chinese Room. It follows Kaz, a Scottish troubled father and husband who goes to work on an oil rig after making a big mistake. After an accident while drilling, the rig gets overtaken by monsters and you must try and survive. Atmosphere? The atmosphere is probably the best part of this game. The entire time you're playing it feels cramped and terrifying. The things that scare me the most are heights, spiders, and clowns, and this definitely delivered on the heights. You are constantly walking around unstable ground, swimming under objects, with no knowledge of when you'll be able to come up and take a breath, in so many tight hiding spaces that you're basically exposed. Super scary, and I loved it. Gameplay is 1.5 out of 5. This is probably the weakest part of the game in my opinion. There are really only a handful of things you can do in this game. Run, jump, crouch, throw things, and climb. Now some games don't need a lot of stuff to do, but the vast majority of this game is just mini quest after mini quest of find this room and flip a lever, and then go to this wing and find this one thing, and then go back to that room and flip this other lever. There isn't much variety in the gameplay, and I think it would rank even lower if the game was longer. However, it's only around 5 hours long. Monsters? I thought the monsters in this game were very interesting and pretty overall scary. Body horror type of stuff has always been a little freaky to me, so this was very cool and scary. It was especially cool how the monsters were all people from the oil rig that Kaz has a history with. Them being the ones that are trying to kill you leads to interesting dialogue between the two. However, that's also one of the weaknesses of the monsters as well. Because the game is so short, we don't have much time with the monsters when they're human, gaining most of what we know about them from the characters' reactions to them. On top of that, they were all kinda one-dimensional. They would chase you around or walk in relatively predictable circles while you hid before making a break for it. Overall, cool idea and design, but not great execution. Story. The story of Kaz and his wife is very sweet and heartfelt. I thought their fighting was very realistic. That being said, that's kind of where the story ends being good for me. I know some people loved it, but I was just disappointed in how little the actual horror aspects were explained. The story was extremely short and consisted mostly of running from monsters, going on one of the 3 kinds of quests, and then hearing a tidbit about Kaz and his wife, which you didn't know previous. However, it all amounts to the same thing. Kaz messed up, and him and his wife are fighting about it. There is no other big story beats to it. Not to mention, the ending was not very good. Ending the game on you dying to protect your family is fine, but in the process we literally learn nothing about the forces we're facing. It's just kind of disappointing, as I figured the monsters, being people we knew, would have led to something amazing in explaining how they got that way. But it just leads to nothing. How scary is it? The game is scary, just not all the time. The atmosphere has you on edge pretty much the entire game, but because you see the monsters very early on, in the daylight, it's hard to be super scared of them all the time. On top of that, all of the monsters are the same tentacle creatures with the same moves, so nothing really surprises you. Some of the jump scares of my friends on Discord in the background were actually scarier than the jump scares of the game. Fun if you want a short kind of scary experience, but I've had similarly tense moments in games like Repo. Overall, this game has earned a B tier. Good, not great.